Well, good afternoon, and this is your Barefoot Country Cook, and yes, I'm barefoot in the kitchen again. Today I am making salmon patties. Making some delicious salmon patties, get that omega-3, the good oils, you know. So, the ingredients that you need for these delicious stovetop in the skillet salmon patties is 1 can of black top pink salmon, or any pink salmon. Actually, any salmon, canned salmon you like. One of those. 2 cups of finely ground breadcrumbs, but remember, Barefoot Country Cooking is gluten-free. So these are Kellogg's cornflake crumbs. These are the best gluten-free crumbs I have ever found. They give it a little bit of a sweet, corny kind of taste, and it's just better than regular breadcrumbs. I mean, you get more flavor when you use these, and I love these. I always have at least 1 box hanging out in my cabinet because that's what I use. Then when you open up your can of salmon, reserve 2 tablespoons of the juice from it because you're going to put that back in it. You're going to need 2 eggs. I always put them at room temperature as it just cooks up better that way. 3/4, actually it's about 2/3. I don't know, I like lots of onion in my salmon patty, so I've got about a 1/2 cup of the finely chopped up, diced sweet onion. Sweet onion because I got the cornflake crumbs and we want that taste coming out. Then we have a 1/2 cup milk and a tablespoon of lemon juice. In the skillet on top of the stove, I've got 2 tablespoons of olive oil because the olive oil, again, the good oils, the healthy oils, just makes this taste really delicious. So I got my salmon in here and I'm flaking it with a fork. And a lot of people don't like, well, they think they don't like salmon, canned salmon, because of the bones in it. Those bones are edible. I mean, you chew them up. That's how they're edible bones, believe it or not. So once you do that, take the 2 eggs. Now you can beat the eggs ahead of time and then put it in. I like to beat it in with the salmon. The egg is a binder. Save your eggshells, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Because we don't throw stuff away in my kitchen. We use everything I use. If I have shells left over, the shells get used. So you put those 2 eggs in there, and I just use a fork. I don't use a blender. In the old days, you didn't have electric blenders. You had those little crank kind. I'm still looking for one, so if anybody knows where I can find one, please let me know. Because I still want one. Because they're so much fun to use. And actually, I think they do a better job. Plus, you get a workout. So put those 2 eggs in there. Get that salmon good and coated with it. Add your milk. And the lemon juice is going to come afterwards, and I'll tell you why, because it'll make the milk curdle. Now I'm using almond milk. So if you're not into cow's milk or you're lactose intolerant, almond milk works just as good. So I'm just stirring it all in there. Okay? And then the cornflake crumbs. Now it's going to be a little dry, but that's okay, because you're going to add the 2 tablespoons of the juice from the can of salmon and the lemon juice. Now the reason why I don't add the lemon juice with the milk is, like I said, lemon juice is acidic and it will turn milk into curdled milk, and nobody wants to have curdled milk in their salmon patties. So this makes about, I think it's like 8 patties or something like that. I can't remember how many I made with it before. Yeah, I think it does. Yeah. Well, 8 1-inch thick ones. Now, the other thing that you need for this is you need a teaspoon of parsley flakes to give it that, since I like the oniony flavor, I put a little bit of chives in there. About a teaspoon of chives. And then my onion. Yeah, I grabbed it with my hands, didn't I? Well, that's okay. The onions give it some chew factor. Like that. Stir that in real good. And then where's my dill? Oh, there it is. And because it's fish, one thing that's really great with fish is dill. So I've got some dillweed. And I'm just going to put a half a teaspoon in there. That gives it a unique flavor. 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground salt. I can't find my pepper grinders, so I have to use regular pepper. Otherwise I would grind it in there. The fresher you get your ingredients are, the better it tastes. And my parsley hasn't, produced yet, so I'm using the chives. Now I could use cilantro for a little bitier taste. You can do that too. And so now it's kind of like crumbly, right? There's like, you can't really make a patty out of it. Let me move this out of the way. And I've got my oil heated up. Yes, I do. I'll turn it down just a little bit because I want to set off the smoke alarm like I've done before. So that's a little noisy. I do apologize. It's to keep that smoke alarm right above me from going haywire. But it has a mind of its own. So now I've got my crumbly mixture. And now I can add the lemon juice. And the juice from the can that was in with the salmon. Stir that up. Now you got a little bit more moisture in there to be able to make patties out of it. Now you can make a big or as small as you want. This should make 8 1-inch high patties, about 2 inches across. So we'll see. Now if you don't want to get the crumbly stuff like on your skin, what you can do is this. And it helps you to make the patties more uniform. You can take just the drop of that olive oil on hands and start grabbing it out of there. Make a ball. And just pat it down. Just about like that. So that's not quite an inch, but it is the, your typical patty size. Now if you wanted to make thinner ones, like to put on a bun, go ahead. You can get like 10 out of this recipe. So I'm just making something really tasty that's healthy. It's going to have that cornflake crumbs in there. Oh my, when I first started doing this gluten-free thing, I was like, but how am I going to do, like, if I wanted to do fried chicken? I don't fry much. And I was like, I can't use regular breadcrumbs. That's gluten. And I found these on the shelf, and I've never gone back. Never gone back to the regular breadcrumbs. Anything that I would have used regular breadcrumbs in, stuffing or anything, I'm using the cornflakes. Cornflake crumbs. I never liked the cereal, but I like the crumbs because it makes these wonderful. Now you're going to put these at medium-high heat in your skillet until it's good and golden brown on both sides. And I'm going to throw 4 of these in there. Yeah, this is going to make 8. It easily makes 8 1-inch thick salmon patties. Got the dill in there. We'll fry these as babies up. Smell wonderful. That's with the cornflakes. And here goes the first one. 1, 2, whoop. Oh, that fell out. That's alright. I didn't squish it enough. And this one. Ta-da. While that's cooking on that side, I'm going to finish making the rest of them. You can freeze these too. Believe it or not, you can freeze them. So I'm going to freeze the other 4. I have a seal-a-meal machine, and I love that thing. This would be for another time. like that. Ah. See, that's the tricky thing. You gotta force them into that shape. Well, these are a little bit bigger, so I may end up with 7 instead of 8, but that's okay. I should have bought stock in the cornflakes crumbs because they make everything good. I don't know if anybody else makes cornflake crumbs. Some think that. First time I ever saw them was in school. And a little bit of olive oil on your hands helps with shaping them also. Now when I go to freeze these, I do use a vacuum sealer. It helps to keep them, helps them retain their shape so they don't, lose it. Because when it's vacuum sealed, it constricts them. And so I got 7. That's because I made a couple a little larger than I normally would, but that's okay. All right, I'm gonna wash my hands off, check on my patties in the pan there. I'm recording this on 2 different cameras, one on the phone and one that I haven't used yet. So it'll be interesting to see which one turns out better. Okay. Ooh, pretty golden brown. Nice. Don't you dare. There you go. Now remember I told you don't throw the eggshells away? If you have a garden or you have flowers and there's something that starts nibbling at them, let the eggshell dry out, crush it up, and sprinkle it on the leaves or around those plants that are being bothered by the critters. This to them is like glass. And they don't like to chew on glass, so they'll leave your plants alone. The other thing you can use this for is put it in your garden. The calcium, when it breaks down in the eggshells, is good for the soil. So, like I said, nothing goes to waste in the country style kitchen. And these are beautiful. Wait till you see what these look like. These are absolutely gorgeous. Actually, let me find a white plate so you can see it. The other plate's got a design on it. Now I could even partially cook these up and freeze them if I wanted to. I'm thinking about doing that. See, that's when you get frozen food in the store, they've already pre-cooked it. All you're basically doing is heating up the rest of the wet. So in a sense, they are, searing food to be finally cooked at home. A lot of people don't understand how the whole frozen food thing goes. That's pretty much it. Almost there. These are looking absolutely gorgeous. I'm kind of glad that there's a little piece that broke off so I can taste it. I can taste it. If you're a real cook, you have to taste test everything you make. Yes, you do. It's about, I'd say, 8 minutes total, 4 minutes each side. I'm just going to let them get good and hot in the center and cook through. It's because it's so thick. Now see, the salmon in the can, in this blacktop pink salmon, the salmon's already been cooked. Otherwise it'd be really gooey. So All you're doing is using it in recipe and cooking it some more. Cooking it a little bit more. Sea salt is what I use. Just a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of dill in there. And I think there's that little piece I told you fell off. It's hot. Good stuff. Yeah. It's these Kellogg's cornflake crumbs makes that so delicious. You don't get that fishy taste. Of course, the lemon juice helps with that. And wait till you see how pretty these are. One more flip. Oh yeah. Awesome. I like to do them a little bit darker, just because it's like corn chip, sort of. Can you see these beautiful patties? I can't help it. Can't help it. A couple of these are a little bit thicker than that one, and so I give them another minute or so. But oh my goodness. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that the canned salmon that you buy, you can just flake it and make it like tuna fish if you want. Just mix mayonnaise and onions and whatever, and eat it just like that. But it still has that kind of sort of fishy kind of smell or taste. But I like that taste. And then what are those? Look at these beautiful salmon patties. Pop goes the onion. And I can turn this off. Turn my vent off. I didn't set off the smoke alarm. Yay! I normally set it off at least every other time. But because I forgot to turn the vent on. And so I have got some beautiful golden brown scrunches salmon patties to feed my sweet other half for lunch. And I've got some that I can put in the freezer, which I think I'm going to do. I may slightly cook them on the outside so it'll hold together for being frozen. But look what we have. Golden brown salmon patties, gluten-free. You can't ask for anything better. You know what they say, can't go wrong with salmon. Hey guys, if you like this recipe, try it. You won't regret it. Make sure you get the Kellogg's Corn Flake Crumbs. Everything else is you know, you can get any kind of salmon. And in the description I'll put the recipe for you all. Hey, give me a thumbs up on this one. This is a healthy, really good meal, and a lot of people who like fish but want to stay away from the gluten, want to stay away from the breadcrumbs, even though the bread, they think breadcrumbs are the best in sliced bread. Guess what? They're not. These are. These guys right here. Gotta have these in the cabinet. I don't do anything breaded unless I bread it with this. That. Kellogg's Corn Flake Crumbs are the best. If you've enjoyed this, if you're planning on making this, and I hope you do, please give me thumbs up. And at least let me know what you thought. Leave me a comment or two. And share my video. I'm sure that you know friends who like salmon or like fish or just, you know, just like period, you know, cooking. And then, hey, if you feel led to do so, subscribe for more of these gluten-free, barefoot country cook recipes, because there's more coming. God bless you all. Enjoy and eat healthy, gluten-free.